Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to finally be looking at some games from the East again. You know, they're in OP-05 currently. I believe they're technically in OP-05.5 where there's been a starter or structure deck released from over there. But we're going to be looking at a match today from a tournament over in the East. It is a 3-on-3 tournament. And it is between blue and black Sakazuki and yellow Enel. Okay, so let's go ahead and just dive right in. Excuse me. So as usual, when I do these videos, I try to put them at 2x speed. I turn the volume off and I just turn on some like lo-fi and chill music in the background that's DMCA friendly or whatever. But okay, real quick. So first things first, I will pause it every now and then for things that are important we got to talk about. In the blue-black Rebecca player's hand, it looks like they're running a Sabo, or excuse me, it looks like they have a Sabo, a brand new, a Great Eruption, 4 cost Kuzan, and 4 cost Rebecca. Okay, that's a pretty ideal start, especially if you're running the Navy package, right? If you're running the Navy package enough to want to run brand new, you're going to want him in your opening hand. Okay, and the Enel player here, okay, we got some alt-art cards here. So this is the 7 cost Enel, Rush Enel, 5 cost Gidatsu, and then we have I think this is called like 1,000 volts Amaru, or 2 million volts something or other. I can't remember the exact name of it. Okay, but we'll look it up in just a second. And then we have Holly and a Thunderbolt. So not the greatest start though, I will say, for the yellow player, like in their opening hand. But I guess, I don't know, I guess the Holly, if they're on the odd curve, I guess it is pretty decent actually, going, you know, 3, 5, 7. Very nice. So let's see who goes first. I don't actually know. And then I will look up that card real quick while we are waiting for them to go, because I have it on start in 2x speed. They're just taking a while. Okay, so that card we were talking about was in fact called 2 million volts Amaru. And it is up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 4 or less. Trigger trash 2 to gain a life. Okay, so Enel player start off just passing, you know, say go. And then we get a top 3 search with brand new for the Sakazuki player here. So he's going to play his 2. Drew a card for the turn. I did not see. Oh, it's a Lucci. He's going to. So, okay. He reveals a Mancherry, a Zeph, and a 4 cost Kuzan. Okay. So let's keep going. He can only grab the Kuzan. He can only grab Navy cards. Unlucky that he got rid of the Zeph like that. Not the most fortunate thing to get rid of. And like we said with Enel, it looks like he's going to have a pretty nice 3-5-7 curve because he is in fact on odd. Okay, swing 5. Okay, interesting. So real quick, notice the Enel player did not swing last turn. And we know why, right? We just looked at his hand. He has Gidatsu. And for those who don't know what Gidatsu does, I'm going to bring it up for you. Excuse me. This is Gidatsu. There we go. So Gidatsu is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 1,000 counter card. I've been bragging about this card quite a bit on my stream. For those who follow the stream, you know exactly what I'm saying about it. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's life cards. It's not like Yamato where it gets both, it's just your opponent's life cards. So, knowing his opponent will be on 4 next turn, he didn't want to swing, just in case his opponent took the damage, then he wouldn't be able to use Gidatsu on curve. Okay, so let's keep going. Very well played by the Gidatsu player, and it's going to pay off here because look what ends up coming out. We get a Kuzan, but with 4 cost Kuzan, that card pays for itself the turn it enters. Right, it draws a card immediately. Okay, and there goes Gidatsu, and there goes Kuzan. Right, Gidatsu comes in, KOs the Kuzan, and then now the Enel player can swing for 5, and he should be just fine from here. Excuse me. That was really well played by the Enel player. Showing some restraint, showing some, you know, some patience there, and not just smashing into your opponent's life because you can. Okay, so Sakazuki's going to swing 5 here and lower the cost of something. It looks like he lowered the cost of the Holly, which is just a 3 cost 5,000 power vanilla. Oh, and he gets a Santoru, I believe the name is of this character. 1 second, let me look it up. Well, actually, I'll hit play while it's going. It's just a 5 cost 2K. Hang on. Might be able to find it this way. I'll be looking up while we're talking. Actually, hang on. I got to pause it, guys. We do have to look up this card real quick. This card is very nice because it is a 2K counter, okay, for yellow. Let me bring it back up on the screen so y'all can look at it while I bring it up over on on my other monitor. This card in particular is nice because it's a 5 cost, 5,000 power body, so it is at the 5,000 number, but it's also very, very strong. Satori, that's his name. Sorry, guys. Because you see at the bottom there, he has trigger to play this card by trashing a card from hand, and he's a 2K counter. So he's kind of in the ballpark of, okay, I'm good if I'm in your hand because I'm a 2K counter. I'm good on the board because I'm a 5,000 power attacking. And I'm good in life because I can come out of there I can either go to your hand as a 2K counter or come down into play and generate tempo. This is an extremely powerful card. Extremely powerful card. Okay, and so let's see what happens here. So I'm sorry, we got to go back just a second here. So he had taken the life, that's what happened, and he's going to try, let's see what card he trashes. Trashes Thunderbolt. Gets rid of Thunderbolt to play out the Satori. And now the Sakazuki player, I don't know if he's used his leader's effect just yet to draw. There you go. So he trashed the Kuzan to draw a card, and he's got 3 Great Eruptions in hand. Wow, 3 Great Eruptions. So that's going to be 3 cards he cycles through and -6 cost reduction altogether that he'll be able to do. Okay, so real quick, let's see. He did 2 of them to minus the cost of, I think he already minus the cost of the Holly down to 2. And now he did -2 to Gadatsu and -2 more to Gadatsu. So he's clearly lining up for like a Rob Lucci here, right? Okay, yep, and that's what happens. So Rob Lucci, when he comes into play, you have to return 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and then he can KO a 2 cost and a 1 cost. So he reduced the cost of Holly down to 2 and Gadatsu down to 1. Very nice. And passes turn. Enel's just starting off with an attack. He says, okay, swing. Okay, gets Tashigi off the life. No trigger. And then pay 7. So the Enel player pretty much operated exactly like we said. He went 3-5-7 curve. And it seems very strong. Very strong tempo here. And it looks like he got a... I forgot her name on there. Hina. The 3 cost 5,000 power Hina that has on played -5 to the cost. Okay, and now he has an Ice Age in hand. He's got it looks like a lot of 2K counters, right? I'm going to pause. Looks like he's got a Suru, an Ice Age, a Bartolomeo, another, the 3rd Great Eruption, 2 Hinas, a Rebecca, a Kuzan, a Mancherry, he has 3 Hinas, and 1 Tashigi. Okay. All right, and while he's deciding, it looks like he's deep in the tank right now. For those who don't know, the way the blue-black leader works is whenever he attacks, he can subtract the cost of a character by 1. Okay, so I think he just lowered the cost of the Satori by 1. Oh, I'm surprised. So he got a beige. The Enel player got beige off the top there. I'm surprised he didn't just shut down the Rob Lucci. But maybe he wants to cycle through his life cards. Maybe he wants to start that process now. But who knows? Maybe he just wasn't sure if he should or not. Because the idea is, what are you going to do? Use the beige anyway out of hand to counter it? So you might as well at least shut down the attack in case he puts more than 6k on him, Okay, pay 4. Going to get a Kuzan, draw a card. Man, this Sakazuki deck, I know I've talked about it before, but I cannot wait to play blue-black Sakazuki. So much card draw, so much cycle, so much blocker, so much control. Okay, plays down. He had gotten a Kobe from the what's his name here, Kuzan. Plays down Rebecca. Rebecca, on play, retrieves a 3 to 7 cost black character card, from your hand, and then it can play a 3 or less black character card into play tapped. So let's see if he plays anything into play tapped. He does. Okay, and that's why the 3 cost 5,000 power Hina is in this deck, because it combos perfectly with Rebecca. And you can also combo it to -5 to something's cost if you need to later in the game. And it's just a 3 cost 5k on curve. However, it does not have a 1k counter. That is the one downside to it. Okay, so let's see what happens. Enel player. So there's the card on the right. So Enel's going to go up to 9 here, and it looks like he even has Yamato in hand. He has the 9 cost Yamato in hand to finish the curve. That is an incredible odd curve, I have to say, guys, for Enel. Just going, what was it? Turn 2 Holly, turn 3 Gadatsu, turn 4 Enel, into turn 5 Yamato. That is pretty strong. And that's something I'm also considering in the black-yellow Charlotte Lindland deck that I've been, messing with for OP-05. Whew, yeah, I can't wait to try that. That just gets me excited thinking about that. Like, oh man, lot of potential there. A lot of potential. Okay. So what happened there? We swung for 7, block with Rebecca. Yamato comes in, can only KO a 2 or less because there's only 2 life in play. And then swings for... Wait, what just happened? Oh, he swung for Enel last there. And then Tashigi 2k counter out. Okay. So the Sakazuki player draws a Mancherry off the top. For those who don't know, Mancherry is similar to... Oh, there she is. She is a card very similar to Rebecca. I'll explain that in just a second. So -2, draw a card. Grab it. Now, with Great Eruption, this card right here, you draw a card first, and then you give the minus cost reduction. And the sequencing does matter, because what you draw might change your idea on what you want to use the cost reduction on. Okay, so now Kuzan swinging at life for 5, -4 to the cost of the Yamato. So -4 and -2, it's down to 3 life now. Or down to 3 costs now. And did he take that? I'm sorry, I didn't see if the Enel player took that or not. Hang on. He did. He did take it. And now the Sakazuki player is going to swing 5 with the Hina. And what's interesting is I think it's always rare for Kuzan to survive a turn and to actually get off his full value, so that is nice when that happens. Okay, so the Enel player does counter out for, I think, 1k. Maybe it was a 2k counter, I'm not exactly sure. Let me see what that Zoro card... No, it's not a 2k counter, never mind. Yeah, so counters out for 1k. And now we're going to swing for 5. -1 to the cost of Satori. And he takes the life, uses Enel's effect to trash a card from hand to gain a life. So what Enel's effect does, what it says is if you are to... hang on, I'll actually just read the actual card so you guys can see it for yourselves so I don't butcher it. Okay, here we go. So, opponent's turn, once per turn. When your number of life cards becomes 0, add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. Then, trash 1 card from your hand. So you're gaining a life pretty much every turn if you can stay on 1 life. Okay. Which, that's why Yamato is so strong in the deck, and that is also why 8-cost Katakuri is so strong in the deck. Charlotte Linlin 10 costs would be good in the deck, but you can't run that outside of Big Mom Pirates and get the effect. Okay, swing 6 with Lucci. Then we're going to get Mancherry down, use the effect. So Mancherry is a 1-cost, 0-power character with a 1k counter, Dressrosa. You can pay 1... So she costs 1, and then you can pay 1 and tap the character, or rest the character, to return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and then you're going to be able to get a card from your trash, a black card from your trash, that costs 3 to 5. So, returns the Zeph and the Great Eruption, and he's going to grab back a Rebecca. And you see how that works, guys. That Graveyard Recursion coming out in OP-05 looks really strong for black. Like, that is high value, right? That is extremely, extremely high value. Okay, sorry, everything's going so fast now. Sorry, guys. Okay, now, after grab back the Rebecca, he's going to play the Rebecca. So that is going to grab back a 5 or less. He grabs back a 2k counter to Shigi, or excuse me, a 3 cost to 7 cost. I'm sorry, I messed that up. So Rebecca comes into play, can grab a 3 cost to 7 cost, and then plays a 3 cost or less from your hand. Okay, well, I guess we'll just play Kobe. Getting rid of the Mancherry to KO your Yamato, because he reduced the cost by 4 and 5 here, and where else did he get it? Oh, and from a Great Eruption. So just incredible getting it down. That's right, excuse me, I messed up that. He had reduced the cost by 4 from the Kuzan here, and then from a Great Eruption in the trash that he already returned to the bottom of the deck, reduced the cost by 2 more. So that's -6. She's at 3. KOs it later in the round with Kobe. Off the tempo of Rebecca. Really, really powerful. And now look at the board. 4 5Ks on the board. Well, excuse me, 3 5Ks. Well, yeah, I guess technically 4 5Ks if you include the leader. And then a 4K and then a blocker. Really strong tempo here. So the Enel player is definitely on the back foot. It's still anyone's game to win here because Sakazuki only has 1 life and 1 defender, right? 1 blocker. But I will say Sakazuki's got a lot of gas in hand, a lot of 2K counters. because that's the nice thing about the Rebecca and the Mancherry is you're able to combo these to keep getting back your your 3-cost 2K counters like Bartolomeo and the girl Tashigi. Like those are 2K counters you're able to get back whenever you need them with effects like Mancherry and Rebecca. Okay, so swing 7, block with Rebecca. Swing 5, let's see what happens. Enel swinging 5 at life. Oh, no, excuse me. Swinging at Kobe. Sorry, guys. I don't have any volume on, so I don't know what they're actually saying. So 5K at Kobe. Yeah, there's no reason to protect him. No reason. Especially when another 2. Well, you know, it's funny. Maybe if he'd used 2K counters, he could have kept one. But no, I don't know. I would have let it go, too. Yamato can't KO anything, but does gain a life. This is why... I got to pause real quick. This is why I think Yamato is just strictly better in the black-yellow Charlotte Linland deck. Not to say it's bad. It's strong in Enel as well. But, like... I feel like it's really strong in the black and yellow Charlotte Linland deck because notice how the Enel has 1 life left, or excuse me, 1 Dawn left. He could have paid 1 to drop down a Great Eruption or a what's the other one called? 1-cost Ice Age. Ice Age would allow him to KO anything on his opponent's side of the board right now, but even a Great Eruption would allow him to KO this Hina and draw and cycle a card. So. I cannot wait to get my hands on the black-yellow stuff coming out in OP-05. Now, everything I just said there is accessible in OP-04, except some of these cards on the board are not. Like for example, the 7-cost Enel and the Gadatsu that got KO'd earlier. Okay, so the Sakazuki player is going to start the turn off by swinging for 5. Notice that this Kuzan is still alive. It's still in play. That's becoming a detriment, right? Like now he's getting to reduce the cost of a character by 4 frequently, right? Like it's just like, okay, your biggest characters can be a 6. Like the biggest your character can be is a 6 with this card on the board. And then another -1 from Sakazuki, the leader's effect when he attacks. So he's easily able to KO anything, pretty much anything in the game with keeping Kuzan alive and attacking. Okay, so let's see what happens here. This is where it got kind of dicey, not using removal. Okay, so he used the Sakazuki to trash the Zeph to draw a card from the leader's effect. Getting rid of that Thunderbolt earlier, like I understand Thunderbolt is, you have to lose a life to do it. I get that. But at the same time, I don't think you can just keep letting this Kuzan get value, right? I mean, I just don't think I don't think you can do that. So, all right, so let's see what happens here. So it looks like he drew a Suru, or was it a Houndblaze? I think it was a Suru. Okay, so 1-cost 2K counter. Okay, Hina swinging in for 5 at Satori. So the blue-black player is just playing pretty heavy into attrition, which is kind of weird. Like, you'd think he'd be a little more aggressive, because as the game goes on longer and longer, the yellow deck can gain more and more life and make it longer and longer. But at the same time, these guys definitely know what they're doing. I'm sure they've spent a lot of time playtesting. Oh, wow. Got another Satori off the top. Very solid. Very solid. And he gains a life from the Enel's effect by trashing the 1K Zoro. Yeah. Ice Age on the Yamato. So that thing is a 0 cost currently because of Kuzan. Houndblaze is going to bottom deck it. So let me pause right here. This card on the right is a 2-cost blue Navy card that has main, give a character or leader plus 3,000 power. I can't even read. And then KO a character that is, put a character to the bottom of your opponent's deck that costs 2 or less. So very, very strong card. Okay, and make sure just while we're doing this, I'll look that up. Yeah, 2 or less. Okay. And now he is swinging for 9K with that Rob Lucci. Yeah, is he swinging at? He might be swinging at Enel. This is interesting here. So he has enough to counter in hand. If I'm reading this correctly, he's swinging a 6K plus 3, a 9K at a 7K character. He can counter out with Beige and this guy in the front here if he chooses to. And then if he plays Yamato next turn, then he can, it'll hit for 2. So okay, it still won't KO anything, but it will at least gain a life. I think he's probably also thinking that Enel can sacrifice a life card to stay alive. I personally would not do that. Let's see what he chooses. It looks like that's what he's leaning towards right now. Yeah, he did that. So the way the 7 cost Enel works, we're going to look that up right now. Real quick. Sorry, guys. Because these are a lot of new characters for some people, so we do have to look at what these cards do. So 7 cost 7,000 power rush character. If this character would leave the field, you may trash 1 card from the top of your life instead. This is only once per turn. Instead. And if there is a Monkey D. Luffy character, this effect is negated, so you can't even do it. So interestingly enough, you know, just listening to people in Discord and stuff, people are starting to tech in like 3 cost Monkey D. Luffy's from whatever color they can splash in their deck to get around that effect. But I personally would have just countered out of that. Okay, so Manchuri comes down, gets back Rebecca, and Rebecca's coming back down, grabbing a Tashigi to hand, and chooses not to play out a character because the Sakazuki has a full board. Man, those Rebecca, that Rebecca Manchuri combo is just incredible. Just absolutely incredible. And it can grab back pretty much, I think, everything we've seen so far. Well, except blue characters, obviously. It can only grab back black characters. Okay, so the Enel player has no life, so he basically has to gain life this turn. I mean, technically he doesn't have to, but that would be the ideal situation here. And wow, look at this hand. Remember, he's grabbed back like 2 of these Tashigis. So generally, like if this match did not have the Rebeccas, he would only have Suru, Bartolomeo, the Sabo, and the Suru. These 2 Tashigis he used earlier and got them back with Rebecca's. So that's really strong. Like, that is so much counter power. And I mean, the Sakazuki, so even though the board, let me pause this for a second. Even though the board looks like, wow, you know, this Enel player's in trouble, if he didn't have that 2K, or excuse me, that Rebecca blocker on the board, well, all of a sudden, you know, this Sakazuki player is actually in trouble. Because this guy can swing for, you know, 9K with Enel, the leader, and then 11K with, he can go 7, wait, let me see, 7, 9, 9, I think is what he can go. Something along those lines, if he needed to. And yes, I understand this guy has a lot of 2K counters, but 7 will eat 2 of them, and then 9 would eat 3, and now there's no cards left in his hand, and then the rest, maybe he'd try to clean up the board, I don't know. But this game's actually a lot closer than it might look on the board currently. And I'm really interested to see what the Enel does. I have to gain life here. Like, I have to start swinging at characters, and I have to gain life here. And I would not have taken that last life. I would be up to 2 life this turn for sure. Okay, so swings there. Let's see where he swings with this. I don't know where he swung with the Enel. Okay, swings for... It gets countered out, whatever it is, and then swing for 5 with Satori. 2K counter out again with Tashigi. And now Yamato comes down. Yeah, see, that's interesting to me. We have to rewind a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry, yes. So he did KO the Manchuri with the Yamato. Very good. For some reason, I thought he was swinging into the Manchuri because how fast the game is. I didn't see he had taken it off. Okay, very good. Gains the life, but again, he could be at 2 life right now, right? And then I know it doesn't make a huge difference sometimes, but I think it definitely allows you to get back in the game. So let's see what happens. It looks like, so remember, this is in 2x speed, so these guys are thinking, because there's only 6 minutes left in this round, and let me see how much it starts with. I think it's 30-minute rounds. Yeah, so it's 30-minute rounds, and these, you know, this game is coming down to the wire here on the timer. Okay, swing for 7K with Rob Lucci. And look at, the Kuzan is still alive, by the way. That is wild, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. That 4 calls Kuzan being alive for this long has allowed this Sakazuki player to do whatever he wants. I think there should have been something done earlier where you use a Thunderbolt to KO this guy, or at least swing like a, you know, 2 9K attacks into him or something, make him waste his whole hand to keep it alive, so he has nothing to use in hand. But still, okay. So let's see what happens here. So he did counter out, by the way. So he trashed a Holly and the beige in hand, and he counters out. So now let's see what the Sakazuki player does. He's going to swing 5 with Hina. And where is he swinging? Okay. He is swinging at the board now. So This is a bad sign, right? This is a bad sign for the Enel player. It's like, okay, so you couldn't defend that 5k? Okay. Wait, let's see. So he swung 5 at life and -4 cost to the Enel. Oh, okay. Yep. So then he'll use Enel's effect. He has to trash a card now to gain a life. That effect is so strong. I will definitely be messing around with yellow at some point with Enel. I like Enel a lot better than I like Katakuri, and I actually like the 5 life mono yellow Lin better than Katakuri because I think it requires a little more skill. There's a little more setup required, but I think most people don't think the effect is strong enough. Okay, so this is approaching, you know, very long timer here for the Sakazuki player. He really wants to win. You can tell we all, you know, everyone wants to win, but these rounds are taking a good minute here, and now he wants to see what's in the trash. Okay, here's that. I'm not sure what he's looking. He's probably trying to see how many 2K counters are left in his opponent's deck, because that's something you could do while they're doing this. One thing you can do if you're playing against someone is check their trash, and think of it like this: the average amount of 2K counters in a deck is 10. So if the player has 5 2K counters in their trash, the odds of them having more in hand is extremely low, right? We're talking extremely low. Okay, so real quick, the Sakazuki player has made up his mind. He's got to pay 4 to play out the Rebecca. I can't wait to play with these Rebeccas. These things are so solid. And he grabs a Kobe back, plays the Kobe, and trashes a card from hand, a Suru, to KO a 3 or less. And remember, earlier in the round, the Kuzan swung 5 at Enel and -4 to the cost of the character Enel. Sorry, that was confusing. There's a leader and a character named Enel. So Kobe was easily able to KO there. Very solid. Okay, swing for 5. And he's going to have to use El Thor. El Thor is like a new radical beam, but it has to do with your opponent's life. If your opponent's life is at 2 or less, then you get plus 4,000, as opposed to just normally it would just give 2,000. But in that situation, the plus 4,000 didn't matter. He only needed the 2K to get out of that attack. But still a very good event. And then he's going to follow up with the Sabo. Okay, so check that out, guys. So it follows up with Sabo. This Rebecca seems vulnerable, right? It's a 4 cost, 0 power card. Like, that's so easy to KO, right? Well, not anymore, because Sabo just made her invulnerable for this turn for KO effects. Now, I can still get bottom decked and stuff, but I think you guys get my point. That's very powerful. Okay, and let's see what happens here. There's really not much that can be done. Okay, we just hit the timer, and it looks like, okay, active player. So what's going to happen is, all right, it's his turn, and then it's going to be the Sakazuki player's turn, the Enel's turn, and then the Sakazuki player's turn. That's how that works. If their rules are the same as ours. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an official judge yet, but I've done all my studying. I've done all my research on it. You know, on everything. I just need to go take the test. But you know, taking the test, that's just time. Who has time these days? Okay, so swing for 10K at the. Okay. He must have been swinging for 10K at life, and then use the Rebecca to block. Swing for 10K at the Rob Lucci, blocks out, or he just lets it go. Draws another Rob Lucci, but I don't think he'll be using that. See, this is the reason Sakazuki's leader effect is so strong. Late in the game, he just got rid of a dead card to draw a 2K counter. Like, that's going to make or break some games, just straight up. Okay. Let's start off by swinging. Oh, he wanted to swing 7. Now, he has a Hound Blaze in hand. I think he wants to get rid of the Yamato, and then he pretty much automatically wins the game, right? So -4. The Yamato is now a 5 cost for the turn. Okay. He's going to take it. Use the effect. He got a Gadatsu. Let's see what card he's going to trash. You have to trash a card from hand. I think he forgot, actually. No. Yeah, Gadatsu's pretty much dead at this point. Yeah, this is a tough spot to be in. I think he's going to swing 7 with leader. Subtract the cost by 1 additional cost on the Yamato. So the Yamato is now a 4. And he needs to get it down to a 2 in order to get rid of the Yamato. So I think he's going to play the Suru from hand. That's got to be the right play here, right? That's got to be what he's going for. Okay. Loads up Hina. Smash for 7. There goes your last life card. Oh, it's a beige. It was a beige off the top. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, he actually could have just won the game right here, technically. Yeah, he could have actually just won the game if it weren't for that beige. Yeah, because the Hound Blaze was going to give him plus 3,000 as well. But doesn't matter. He's still going to win next turn, even though they're in overtime. Remember, so now it's the Enel player's turn, and then it will be the Sakazuki player's turn. And there's no way he's going to stop what's on the board, and there's no way he can KO the Sakazuki player. Yeah. Good game. Winner. Sakazuki. Awesome. So, guys, I'm... What do y'all think about OP-05? Is everyone listening to this as excited as I am about OP-05? It's like, yes, I was excited about OP-04 because I knew there was going to be a little bit of variation happen, but there wasn't as much as I was hoping for, and Red still kind of just ran the format. You know, I hate to say it, but it is what it is, right? Whereas in OP-05, I think we're seeing quite a bit mix up. You know, like, I'm okay with seeing, let me say it like this, I'm okay with seeing like a red-purple deck. Even though there's red in that, I'm okay with seeing like a red-purple deck. Law's a little different because I think there's some balance issues there, but whatever. I'm fine with seeing like a red-purple deck, but I don't like when it's just, oh yeah, just mono-red Law, or excuse me, mono-red Newgate, mono-red Zoro, and that's just kind of running the show with a red hybrid green deck in Law doing what it does, just running off. Just kind of running the show. But yeah, very, very strong. This was a very good game. Oh yeah, let me hit play. And this game ended up being really, really good. I was actually surprised that the Sakazuki player was able to stabilize even after, how do you say this? Like, getting the full brunt of the 3, 5, 7, 9 curve of the Enel player. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I don't have much more to talk about. You guys say what y'all think in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys. Peace.